Hi guys, Petrik here. Today's video I will be showing you the physical books that I bought and received since the month of June. You're probably wondering a bit why the title is Mid-Year Book Haul even though it's almost October now. But that's the thing of being an international reader. You buy books in June, the books arrive in September. That's just how it is. Especially with the situation around the world right now, book mail takes even longer than usual. Books takes around 2 until 4 months to arrive to my place. But even if I were to exclude that factor, you probably won't see me doing a lot of these book haul videos because to be honest, I do book haul only about twice a year, at most 3. I do a huge book haul usually at the beginning of the year, at the middle of the year, and maybe at the end of the year. There are several reasons for this. As I mentioned before, I usually read my books now on my Kindle. This one. Limited spaces, books are expensive, and as I mentioned, books takes a long time to arrive to my place. So yeah, let's start. I'm going to show you the first series that I purchased. It's The Cemetery of Forgotten Books by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. The first book is The Shadow of the Wind. The second book is The Angel's Game. The third book is The Prisoner of Heaven. And the fourth book is The Labyrinth of Spirits. This is one of my favorite series of all time. I actually read this one a few months ago, and I fell absolutely in love with this series, and I knew immediately when I finished it that I have to own this. I have to own this series in physical form because not only I have to, I knew that I'm going to be reading it again one day in the future from the beginning to the end. Truly incredible series. Rest in peace, Carlos Ruiz Zafón. The world has truly lost a genius storyteller. The next book I'm going to show you is Shogun by James Clavell. I knew nothing about this book except that Richard Nell, the author behind Ashen Sand trilogy, he highly recommended this to me, and I love his books. And well, I saw this edition and I couldn't pass it up. Look at it, it's so gorgeous. The katana, the spine, and the back cover. Blackstone Publishing did a great job on it. And besides that, I've heard a lot of great things about this book anyway, so I thought might as well. Next series that I purchased is The Traitor Sun Cycle by Miles Cameron. The first book is The Red Knight, the second book is The Fell Sword, the third book is The Dreadworm, the fourth book is The Plague of Swords, and the fifth and final book is The Fall of Dragons. So why did I buy this series? First, I've heard a lot of great things about it from so many people. Secondly, which probably is the most deciding in buying factor for me, the gorgeous cover art. I mean, come on, seriously, the cover art of this series is super gorgeous. Because of that, I bought the entire series without reading it first. And I hope I don't regret my decision because I've read the first book and right now I feel a bit lukewarm about it. I'm going to talk about it more in my monthly wrap-up next week. And the next book I'm going to show you, this is the last part of my mid-year book haul. It's Dark Dawn by J. Christoph. This is the UK hardcover, and honestly, it is one of my biggest regrets that I didn't purchase Nevernight and God's Grave UK hardcover back when they were cheap. Right now, you probably cannot find Nevernight, the UK hardcover, at a reasonable price anymore because it's not published anymore. I think the cheapest one you can find right now is $800, I think. And if I'm not mistaken, the price at one time actually shot up to $3,000. Like what? Are you kidding me? So yeah, it's one of my biggest regrets because I love this trilogy, and I wish I had made the purchase. The next one I'm going to show you is a pre-order from last year, but it only came yesterday. It's The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the second book in the Poppy War trilogy. Amazing trilogy. I highly recommend it if you're okay with reading grimdark fantasy. Third book, The Burning God, comes out in November. For the fans of the series, you guys will love it. And if you haven't read the series, well, it's time for you to catch up now. So yeah, that's the books that I purchased by myself. Pretty much all the books that I mentioned just now were books that I bought since June, except The Dragon Republic, and they arrived at my place in August or September this month. Yeah, it's a long time, such a pain. There's still one more book that hasn't arrived yet. It's The Bone-Shot Daughter by Andrea Stewart. It's on my way right now. Hopefully it won't take too long. Now I'm going to show you the 4 books that I received from authors. The first one is The Kingdom of Liars by Nick Martel. This is the first book in the legacy of the Mercenary Kings. I've read this book several months ago, and the author was kind enough to send this book to me because he said he appreciated my support, which he honestly didn't have to. But yeah, it was super nice of him, and the book looked gorgeous. Richard Anderson, the cover artist behind this UK edition, is one of my favorite artists. And I'm so glad that the author sent me this one. I'm truly grateful. Thank you, Nick. And then I received The Girl and the Stars by Mark Lawrence. Fun fact about this one, well, not so fun. Mark actually sent me this book 4 months ago, at the end of April. It arrived in the beginning of September. That's more than 4 months. I genuinely thought it's lost already. But yeah, thank you, Mark. This is super gorgeous. Look at it. The cover art by Jason Chan looks incredible. The next book I'm going to show you is a self-published book. It is Rebirth, the first book in Divinity's Twilight by Christopher Russell. And by the way, I want to show you something about the author's handwriting. It's super beautiful. Look at it. So neat. Finally, the last book that I received is Paterno's War of Gods. This is the 3rd book in the Paterno's trilogy by Doug Ashton. Truly fantastic urban fantasy. Urban fantasy just doesn't get more epic than this one. If you haven't read this trilogy yet, I highly suggest you do it as soon as possible, because this trilogy is incredible. It's refreshing, it's original, and honestly, if you're a fan of urban fantasy, epic fantasy, and mythologies, I really don't see how you won't like this one. Well, that's it for today's video. What do you think about my mid-year book haul? And I'm curious, how often do you guys do a book haul? Do you always do it in big purchases or small purchases? And by the way, I'm actually using a new mic now on this video. Can you tell me whether the quality of the audio is better in this video or the previous videos? As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the support. I hope you stay safe, and happy reading to you. Bye!